And we're live with Jamil. Hi,
Hello,
Jamil.
guys. I was thinking of doing some kind of a hi, guys. This is live from Bedworth, UK, and this is Millie and Ben from. I don't know. I don't know if you want to mention the place you live at. So
yeah, Leicester.
Leicester, all right. Just like 30 miles away from my house, so that's kind of like wow.
Yeah, I'm glad you said wow and not creepy.
Why would it be creepy anyways? Like, it would be as creepy as like my housemate living with me, which is not creepy.
Right. Okay. We are going to go over a sheet I did last year of FI. The sort of like where I tried to describe it in the starkest terms possible. Right, here we go. And if my sound goes crazy, if it goes robotic, please let me know.
Okay, well, it is going crazy from time to time, but it's all right. So, okay. We're talking about FI, which is, it's fine now? Kind of.
Excellent.
Yeah, should be okay. All right. FI supposedly should be my leading function, as in I'm an INFP, so...
If you're an INFP, if you really are an INFP, then it's your leading function and you'll be good at it.
Okay. I don't know if I'm good at it because I don't know how the function is actually defined.
That's the thing. That's what we're going to try and find out over the saga of typing you. See, it might just be that you just have a good sense of humour, which is why you tend to say inappropriate things.
The thing is that my whole life I've been told I have a shit sense of humour, so it's like, thanks, guys. I kind of don't have a high self-confidence in it. I just say whatever is at the bottom of my throat, and it's like sometimes it's really inappropriate, and people are like, "Do you even have morals?" I'm like, "Dude, stronger than yours."
Do you think it can be a language thing as well, though, when someone speaks, because they're less direct, and they're more direct when you speak a second language? Are you the same in Lithuanian?
In Lithuanian, I only talk it with my closest people, which means with my housemates, and I'm a bad person with them. Like, I swear, I'll be honest, I swear a lot, and I'm not gonna hesitate to send them to hell if they piss me off. I am really open and rude even to some extent. But things I have that little swap of personality. Whenever I'm talking in English, I do swear, but a little less, and just because of a language barrier, I have a little less sass in me.
Less sass?
Yeah, less sass, because I don't know some of the comebacks for the stuff people say, and I'm like, oh, if you were talking in my language, I wish I would have wrecked you. But then it's like, it's not my language, so I can't wreck you.
Right. Yes, we will consider if you're an ISFP later on in future hangouts.
Okay.
Right. People around the internet, and YouTube, they say a lot of different things about FI.
And so many bad things. It's like,
but I also think the best thing that can be said about FI is that it must have some use, because the two types that lack it the most are ESTP and ENTP, and they have a problem with ethics and loyalty. So FI must be useful, because when it's missing, it's a bad thing.
Well, not necessarily. Some of the EXTPs are actually mature enough to realize that some of the behavior makes them bad people. So it just takes a little bit of time and a little bit of understanding to get to the point where lack of FI kind of gets compensated by other things.
Right. And of course, so right, so we're going through this definition, but I do have some other definitions as well of FI. And what I can do is I can switch to Darios' definition of FI.
Okay.
We can do the Wikisocion thing later on, but I do have some function things. This is this fella's definitions.
Jack this fella's.
Yeah. This is how Viktor sees the ENTPs.
I do look similar, don't I? It's just like, books.
And so he's got FI defined here. Oh yeah, that's KDE as well at the bottom. That shows what KDE desktop. But if we go to introverted ethics, so their value, trust, morality, sincerity, attraction, sentiments, appropriateness, relationship, character, goodness. What do you think of each of those things? What do you think of value?
It's a very, very subjective thing. Value, it's kind of like probably it's valuing someone, a feeling, or just overall like I don't know. I would probably require a bit more about the value and like tiny bit more words about the whole word, what it means for the creator, because everyone sees words in different ways and like value. For one, it might be price. For the other, it might be of emotional value, of sentimental value. Don't know,
Right,
but yeah.
What I'm going to do here is I'm just going to go to this part of the brain.
Okay.
Where place personal value. And so this part of the so this is a bird's eye view of the brain. And so this region would be sort of like just in front of your right ear. And so it's place personal value, attentive. And so what happens, Dario said that when people talk about things that are of personal value to them, that area of the brain lights up. And the types that it lights up most for are INFP, ISFP, and INFJ, and ESFP, the FI types and INFJ. Because
that's
INFJ,
a really weird types. Yeah.
But they're all FI types, but you see, INFJ does have strong FI in the background because it's there.
Oh yeah, ignoring.
Yeah, it's there in Model A that sets the demonstrative function, but because in Model G, INFJ is NIFI. Because, and if you think about it, anyone who is introverted and a feeler, they're going to be thinking about their own emotions. They'll just use they'll use more FE when they interact with people, I suppose. While, and then this is the definition that Dario has for F8. Talking about here about the values and things.
Oh, grounded believer, evaluate people and activities in terms of like or dislike, or recall details with high accuracy.
Right. Just gonna try and rename something.
Okay.
Because right, what I'll do is because the slides are slightly out of order, and so if you want to talk about what you think about FI while I rename
Oh, you mean my own
Your
personal
own,
view?
yes, your own views.
Okay. It is really contradictory function because how to say it? You have a close circle of friends you care for, but you might as well end up caring for them a lot more deeper than FE types. And probably in a way you take things more seriously, but I don't even know actually. I don't know how to define it. I've never bothered to actually think about it, how it works. And the only thing I can say, as an FI type, I actually have a lot of struggle to understand my own feelings. Because sometimes people are like, "You're very tense. You should calm down." And I'm like, "I'm not tense. I'm all right." And then I just snap out of it. I'm like, "I am actually tense. I just didn't realize that." It's just really weird. Or as well as, I don't know, I do struggle to realize how the relationships are going on with people. And sometimes I think I am in deeper bond than it was actually in real life. So kind of have that F5 power struggle, even though I'm an F5 Dom, where I can't really distinguish the depth of relationship with people and where it is. So I just need a full verbal report about how is it going. Like, I need reassurance about what's going on with people. If we're good friends, if we're bad friends, or if we need to fix something, or if you like me, or if you don't like me, I need reasons. I need reassurance for that, and it's kind of weird.
Right. What makes you think you are an FI Dom?
Thing is that usually, whenever I think about things impacting, about how things impact, first thing I usually think about is myself, and only then comes other people. And logic is something I need to struggle with in order to deal with. So it's kind of like feelings over logic, but I do kind of struggle and make myself think logically. It's just I can't entirely think like logically. And a lot of FI DOMs are actually known to have like depression, anxiety, being self-conscious, being really, how to say, if immature, being really angsty, having that snowball effect over themselves. And if like things go wrong and they go wrong long term, but only even if littlest things, and every day it just builds up. You bottle up and they just blow up. And it's hard to let the emotions out. And I don't know how to direct anger onto people, so I don't want to hurt them. I just end up hurting them just because I'm like, I bottle it up for so long that whenever it comes out, it's just like I sound like a wild on douchebag, even though I have a point for it.
Right.
So it's kind of, plus my whole talk is like, oh, I did, and I think, I feel, instead of like, oh, don't know, kind of the whole language compared to INFJs and ENTPs, ENTJs, it's really different.
Yeah. There's a good phrase for using I and my a lot. Pronoun density. High pronoun density.
Yeah, that's quite right. I don't think I could be an INTP. I don't have TI at all in me. Like, I've met some INTPs and completely different people.
What about ENFP?
I'm afraid I feel a bit too alienated from social life, from parties. How to say? I've seen ENFPs having it full on with like parties and a lot of people going to the clubs and cinemas and just having a lot of friends. And it's like, I'm not that kind of person. I don't like clubs. I feel awkward in there. Been once there, had to pretend to be a lesbian so I could get out alive. And I was with my Auntie housemate as well, so I was like, no, you don't touch my girl. I'm really jealous. We're lesbians. You don't do this. And the dudes were like, yep, whatever. I was like, get away. So pretty much, it's like sound, colors, and everything that's too much overwhelms me. As well as too many people. It's like, get away, don't touch me. No, feelings, people, no, please, no.
Oh, so that was interesting. You want to get away from their feelings?
Yeah, sometimes there are days it's just like, you just want to extend a hand and be like, keep away from me. Like, seriously, I don't have time to deal with this. No, seriously.
Right. So we'll go through.
Okay.
Each one of these, and we'll if we do.
Oh yeah, I really like. Yeah.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, I really like how it's written subjective emo. Like that was the first thing I saw. I was like, emo. Oh, this is like a trademark thing of the INFPs. Emo scene of depressed people, kind of like, those kind of nobody understands me and I'm the special snowflake thing, kind of. But I mean, I understand you mean subjective emotions or something like that.
No. I literally mean that is what they would call, but negatively, people would call it a leave function. Like, because I've sort of like, again, I've made it more extreme for each version. So, like I said, FI polar is bad! Exclamation point, highlighted in orange, and then subjective emo is like the opposite end of that. I would much rather encounter someone who is a subjective emo than somebody who is FI polar.
I don't know. I kind of like FI polars. They're funny in a way.
Yeah, like Donald Trump is funny. Donald Trump is funny, but he is FI polar.
Yeah, he is. But yeah, he is actually funny. Like some stuff he says, it's just like you just facepalm with your first, second, and third hand and be like, I just don't want to hear that, dude. It's just too much for my brain to handle at this moment.
He asked what his Secret Service nickname would be, code name would be, and his reply was,
Toupee.
No, humble.
Oh God. Yep. Wait, is it toupee or is it toupee? Or is it tube?
Toupee.
Toupee.
Oh, I tend to call it a syrup. Syrup of fake wigs. I tend to call it a syrup.
Oh, his Secret Service name would be toupee.
As people can tell, that I am one of the people that people can say for sure that I am not wearing a wig. You could be wearing a wig, Jamil, but I'm definitely not wearing a wig.
Sorry, I'm not wearing a wig. It's just, it would be a bit too much effort to actually bleach a wig and try to make it silver. Try to bleach it again and tone it 5 times. Because, yeah.
Talking of bleached wigs, would you have to do that? I do actually have a grab for that. Here we go. There we go. She's just been told, very clever, or is it the glasses? So you wouldn't be very happy if somebody said that to you. Very clever, Jamil, or is it the glasses? Oh dear.
Oh yeah, once when I had my graduation pictures taken, I was without the glasses. I had lenses on, and some dude commented on my picture. Was like, "Oh yeah, you look very ditzy without your glasses," and I'm like, "Thanks, dude! Yay! Thank you! I never thought that glasses actually give you intellect."
Right. I think one of the first people to wear clear glasses to create an impression was David Beckham in the 1990s, where they started using the fashionable glasses, which just clear lenses.
Oh, you mean without the prescription?
Yeah, without the prescription, yeah, non-prescription.
So that's the one who started the trend.
Yeah, he went to some like posh event with his not so posh wife, Victoria, and he was wearing fake glasses.
How classy is that?
Right. So, oh yeah, part of the theory is FI is static, not dynamic. So, you could say that FE people will tend to adjust more to their surroundings, just to other people. FI people are going to stay more true to themselves, and that's oh yes. See, that's what I forgot. You see, just to help with this diagram is I can go a little bit through Darios' definitions, and now I've got them the right way around. I've done a little table of Darios' definitions of FI, and I was re-listening to and I suggest folks listen to the Gulenko Hangout number 7, and 16 minutes in, Viktor says that his definitions of the functions are very similar to Darios, except that Dario doesn't do plus and minus versions. And I've just remembered that I should have said in previous Hangouts that when a function is plus, it just means that they maximize the positive, and then when it's negative, it minimizes the negative. So for instance, SI minus in the ISFJ means that they try to minimize discomfort in other people, whereas ISTJ tries to maximize comfort. So it is quite abstract, that with the charges, but it makes sense when done in depth. I won't talk about it now. So introverted feeling, I suppose in comparison with FE can. So how about this for you? Staying true to who you really are. Is that important to you, or do you like to adjust to people to fit in?
Actually, I've been catching myself losing touch with my own personal identity recently. Not recently, through several years back, and values and beliefs, I've been like quite loosely tied with them. So I don't know, but I don't necessarily try and respond to others' needs completely fully. And like, I don't take up on anyone's values unless I see them valuable to myself. I guess that's a good point to distinguish FI, though. Because I'm not blindly into things like, I don't blindly buy into things that are popular in society and are valued at this moment. I just first check if it does check up with my own. And so if it does stack up, I'm like, yeah, I'm putting this in. I'm pushing in the drawers.
Right. What about pay close attention to your own personal identity, values, and beliefs?
This left my mind in shambles. Seriously. I don't pay close attention, but when it's time that somebody's questioning them, I'm like, yeah, here's my stuff. Here, you can check it. It's legit. Like, I've got it checked. It's under control. But there are times I don't stick with them just because I see that it's not worth it.
And do you check with your conscience before you act?
Usually I do.
No. Do you choose behavior which matches what's important to you, congruent with what is important to you?
Not always. Sometimes I check up what is the first, let's say, it depends on the situation. If I'm at work, I first check with the behavior that is appropriate. Then I check with the behavior that needs to be done, and only then the things that it is important to me comes in, because I know it's not about me always. I mean, it's not about me all the time.
Right. If you just compare that a little bit with FE,
Mm-hmm.
what about that? Empathically respond to others' needs and take on their needs and values as your own.
I do take seriously other people's needs. It just depends on what kind of bond we have. Sometimes, if I am in a state good enough, I can care for everyone. Like, seriously, if there's someone who's ill and I barely know that person, I will still make that person tea. I will still ask how is she or he doing, and if you'd like to go home, just go home. Don't struggle at work, and yeah, go make yourself better. And or just go eat, or here, take my food, or here, take my last money because I see you're struggling a lot more. But values, as I said, I filter them still.
Yeah, the way you described SI there, that does fit INFP, because they're sort of launched by sensing discomfort in other people. So, and then this is what Dario found about FI. I think this will be FI. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
These were the findings from his studies. So they're very self-centric, the FI lead, but of course the humanist will be helping other people. I suppose it depends how healthy they are. If they're unhealthy, then they're going to be all about themselves. If they're healthy, they are going to be using their FI. Their FI is going to be directed towards helping people.
Oh, hard to embarrass. No, I am really easy to embarrass. If you put me into certain situations, I can get embarrassed in flat out 1 second.
Yeah, I did a hangout with David Kersey Jr. and David Mark Kersey. That's what he prefers, and Jeff Miller, the SP spouse, and he was saying that they disagreed with that part about hard to embarrass. It's just that they're embarrassed by different things compared to an FE person.
Yes, exactly. Yes, I do focus on word choice and voice tone and how the sentences are made. Because I know sometimes when people say words, if they swap the places, it might sound quite different. And it's like, I do pick on that, and I'm like, oh, you said this. Did you mean this? Because this sounds a bit offensive. And they're like, oh, yeah, I meant this. And I'm like, yeah, I fixed you. Gotcha. Got you back. Where the voice tone, I do actually react quite a bit, because at work, usually I listen to my manager's voice. If they're more like upbeat and happy, I'm like, yeah, that's good. That means we're doing something good. But if they're like getting groggy and grumpy and everything, I'm just like, shit, something's wrong.
Well, in the job that you do, you work a lot with people.
Yes.
How much have you improved in that area since you've been working in that line of work?
I've probably improved like 110% since the first day I ever started that kind of job. Like, I started noticing a lot more patterns in people's behavior, and how people express their being disgruntled or happy, or how they fake stuff and how can you recognize it, or how to just rub someone off in a way that they cannot really distinguish if you're being mean to them or not. Kind of like, yeah. Or just overall hit up a casual conversation and being like really informal with people.
Right. So imagine if you're in the same line of work for the next 10 years.
Oh, shit,
just how much better you would be at those kind of things.
Probably I would get bored and be like, yeah, kind of like I don't want to boast, but probably I would be really good because it's that kind of job you just get good with years.
Yeah.
And probably by the end of it, I don't think I'd be some kind of a general manager or something, but I would probably be hardworking enough to get some kind of a higher position.
Yeah.
And be like, yeah, I just make connections with people and contacts and just use it for my own profit, or just like help somebody, make charities, or kind of like other stuff.
I mean, like over 10 years of that kind of experience of seeing so many different people and
Yes.
unconsciously reacting to someone, oh, this person's like that person.
Mm-hmm.
Not even consciously, just that huge amount of experience. Not just experience, but adjusting and learning.
Yeah, it's already easier to distinguish people, the people who are nervous, the people who don't feel comfortable around you from the first two glances. It's like if you come over to the table and they're like already kind of like moving away from you or leaning away, it's kind of like, yeah, okay, I should back away a bit and I should just like be a bit more formal, I guess. You start distinguishing it a bit easier.
Right, so people doing that job, even if their feeling functions are not really high, that job will make them better at behavior skills associated with those functions. And
sorry, yeah.
And I was just saying that's something that Dario says. Hey, someone's job does rewire the brain.
Mm. Because given I'm doing a job that requires being quite sensory as well. You have to see things. You have to tell, yeah, dude, you did this wrong. Can you fix this? Or, yeah, I kind of see that the person is disgruntled. Or, I have to manage time and do this, and that in 5 minutes. It's like you just go around it. You just try to flow with it. I mean, go with the flow.
Yep. What about this here? May not utilize feedback. Are you always receptive to feedback?
If I see that the feedback's bullshit, I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm listening to this. Yeah, I will do this. Yes, I'm open-minded. But in reality, it's going to be like, yeah, you kind of over-exaggerated. This is not really worth my attention. So I'll just slightly go with it, but not fully. Like, as much as I can, actually. As much as I can and as much as I want. But not entirely. But...
Yeah, go on.
But if the feedback makes sense, I'll be like, okay, I need to fix this, and that, and immediately, and how to fix this. And now it's like, I don't sit down, I just like rewind stuff that was done badly in my head and try to find solutions.
Right. When you say how do you know that they're speaking BS? Do you know it on a logical level or on a gut feeling level?
Well, usually if I'm talking to a person, I look closely into their faces and I look at the like expressions. If they're like looking somewhere at the ceiling and kind of like, yeah, kind of like in the tone of like, yeah, I'm listening to you, but not really. I'm just like pretending. Whereas they're like darting, I'm just like, yeah, you're talking bullshit. But though I'm gullible to some extent though. Because some people at work do make jokes with a straight face, and I'm like, are you serious? Like, no, you're just gullible. I'm like, can you stop this?
Do you want to give any examples? Or
something like, oh yeah, we ran out of this. I'm like, did we? Yeah, they're like, yeah, we did run out of this. Tell the manager. And I'm like, yeah, I'm about to. And they're like, no, we didn't. We don't do that. We just joked. And I'm like, are you a douchebag? Like, seriously?
Yeah.
I do take this seriously, so you shouldn't do that.
Yeah, that's not a joke. That's just being douchey. That's stupid.
Yeah.
That's not funny.
Exactly. It's like, and they're like, oh yeah, you're being gullible. I'm like, you're being a douchebag.
Yeah. That's not nice. Right. Right. So we've done those definitions. Right. Now we can go to Jackie Boy's definitions of FI,
Mm-hmm.
and then we'll go to my plus and minus.
Okay.
So trust, yes, trust. So how much importance do you place on trust?
Trust is really important. It's something that once it was skilled, it cannot be regained. So it's just like the brain cells. If it's crumbling off, it's gonna keep crumbling off, and not much you can do about it. And you have to value it overall.
Right.
Yeah.
What about morality and ethics?
Morals are really subjective, so I don't really go, I don't go hard or go home about them. It's like, I don't mind when people's morals don't really align. It's just that as long as we don't have to be at each other's throats for that, it's okay with me. So morality is kind of a so-so.
Okay. What about sincerity? And I'm not quite sure what he means by sincerity and attraction.
Huh?
I'm not quite sure what he means by sincerity and attraction. By attraction.
I don't understand either. It's really vague.
I know what he means by sincerity. But remember, this is the guy who did the video. You watched it. So the audience knows that Jamil, am I pronouncing your name correctly?
You can call me Millie, don't worry.
Yeah, Millie. Okay, I'll call you Millie. So she listened to Jack talking about his FI break, his allergy to FI, and she listened to the whole thing, the whole of that section, and appropriateness. Yeah, that's a good one. Appropriateness. Yeah, you see, they might know what's appropriate because they can actually tell the difference between good and bad. Where they don't have to be thinking, oh, is this appropriate or not? They just know whether it's appropriate. They have a feeling.
Oh. For me, it takes a lot of thinking to think what's appropriate. Sometimes I just spurt out humor that is straight up inappropriate, and everyone's like, gasp, why did you say that? I was like, I thought this was appropriate for this moment. And everyone's like, it wasn't. And I'm like, shit.
Right. So you don't have a gut feeling of when something's appropriate?
Yeah, just like one day, just like 2 days ago, my manager was standing by me, and he mentioned something about burning fire, and I was like, yo, dude, do you know the difference between a pile of bricks and a pile of, do you know the difference between a pile of, do you know the difference a pile of dead babies and a pile of Jews? And he was like, no. I was like, you can't rake ashes. And he was like, what the fuck?
Right, okay.
That was a bit vague of me, but what I meant is that usually the Holocaust jokes are about burning Jews, so I was like, can't really rake the burned Jews. So I was like, he still laughed because I guess he got it because he seems to be INFP. But
Okay.
I do make a lot of really inappropriate jokes around him.
Right, okay. I will neither condone nor condemn what you have said.
So yeah. Like, believe me, I've spurted out some really, really inappropriate bad humor in a Catholic gymnasium, high school. Like, I proper made my home run teacher gasp sometimes, and she was like, yeah, you were a good student, I won't mind that. I'm like, yes!
What did you say? What did you say?
I was like, a few times she asked me, what do you think is the best quality of God? I was like, I don't believe in God. And she was like, you're in a Catholic gymnasium. I'm like, yeah, I do know that, but sometimes people get forced into there. And she's like, okay. Or like, she's really hard into like traditional family. And she's like, yeah, I only support the woman and the man kind of family. I'm like, sorry, teacher, I'm a bisexual. She was like, jaw drop. It's just I'm honest, but I'm inappropriate with that sometimes. So it's kind of like,
Yeah, that's the thing. That's a difference in the definitions. Like Jack's got appropriateness there, and Dario's got staying true to yourself.
Mm.
So, but also FE people are going to think about what's appropriate.
Yes, I think FE is more inclined to think about that.
It depends. I think they both do appropriateness.
Mm.
FE will think about what is appropriate to the situation. This kind of, so for instance, if it's like a formal situation with lots of people, the reason why FI can be inappropriate is because the person doesn't really know how they feel towards other people. Like they don't know how close they are.
Mm-hmm.
They then don't know the actions they make are not appropriate for the status of that relationship.
Exactly.
And that is where their inappropriateness, and that is where, and the FI person. So another way of putting it is, people who are really good at FE, they are appropriate because they go by the social conventions. And that's why they're appropriate, because they are appropriate to the social conventions of whatever culture, subculture they're in. Whereas the appropriateness in an FI way is they know that they have a feeling of how close they are to someone.
Mm-hmm.
And everything they do is based off that sense of how close or how far away they are from that person. So it's not like the guy who is overly forward or overly defensive. And that's why you can have people, that's why you can have, like, especially the ESTP and ENTP males who are like overly forward or overly suspicious with women. Mm-hmm. And they don't know what is appropriate for the status that they are with their female friend. Mm-hmm. Because they don't know the status of that relationship.
Oh, I have the same issue. It's like, are you a good friend, or are we somewhere else? And the fuck I'm doing with you? Like, go away. I don't know what to do with you. Don't know how to deal.
Now you listen to that section in Jack's Type Me video where he talks about these things. What was your? Do you want to talk about how you relate to what he said?
Oh, you mean about Jack the ENTP?
Yeah, the way he talked about being poor at relationships.
I can relate because I actually can entirely relate to him. I am too dumb to realize what kind of connection I have with people, and sometimes I think I am better friends with a person than I am actually. And as I said, I sometimes need to have things pointed out with a finger straight up in the freaking eyes, so just I would understand. And I need a lot of explanation where everything's going.
Right. What you said right there is that's the definition of FI break.
I just don't know. I'm a contradiction. I sound like an FI dom and I sound like an FI break, which is like, well, whatever, never mind. I'm okay without a type.
You're interesting though.
It's like, one moment I'm this and the other moment I'm that, and it's like no middle way. It's really annoying.
But the thing is though, because you're in the perfect job, one of the best jobs for being able to develop and solve your FI issues, because you're dealing with these people so much. Like just in a few years, you might like really reduce these problems.
Probably. The thing is that I just get so stressed sometimes that all of the probably experience just gets shrunken, and I just concentrate on the stress I get, on all the pressure. It's just, and you're back again at zero.
Right.
Because you're just so stressed.
Right. Okay.
And yet,
yeah, go on.
Okay. Yeah, and I notice whenever I'm stressed, nothing around me exists. I hear people talking, I just can't care. I'm just running like a headless chicken. It's like this and this and that and that. And like there, north, up, the south, hell, universe, I don't know. Where am I going? What am I doing? I just go and do. It's really like I stop thinking in my head, I just see things. It's like everything moves out of my head.
That could be. So you're just reacting to things around you.
Yes, it's just literally pure reaction. I don't have my own emotion. All my emotion is stress, and I just solely react to things. I don't feel anything apart from stress. I don't see anything apart from the things I need to do, or apart from the things that are just literally in front of my face. If I turn around, I don't see the thing. I forget it instantly.
Right. Interesting. Because that could be like ENFP.
No idea.
Right. Here we go. I will just what time is it?
It is
Right.
21:50.
Yeah, that's okay. Right. I'm just gonna send a link to someone, then I'll be back.
Okay.
In fact, what I'll do, I'll put this I'll put this graphic up for people, and there it is. There we go. Just gonna send this message.
Okay.
Right. So what do you think there about the noticeably higher pronoun density for FI people? Do you think INFPs
That is
do
actually quite visible.
Ah.
Yes, because every single situation, every single experience, we do filter through our FI, and automatically everything is from the point of view of us. So, as a rule, it should be I or me or my. Unless it's my friend or I got hit by a car, stuff like that.
Right, okay. So what else have we got there? We've got do you think that let's go back to the right. So do you think that FI people are judgmental?
I think if they're young and if they haven't realized that not everything revolves around their own values and not everything that they believe in is right, they can be judgmental. But with time, they just get, like, how to say, more relaxed, and they kind of into people. It's like, okay, e.g., I find virginity to be quite a big value, like in a person. Virginity in the, how to say, of lack of perverseness. But through time, I realized some people just have that in themselves and they cannot help that. But that does not necessarily make them a bad person. So there's a lot of factors and there's a lot of things to consider, and you just cannot say straight up that person is bad or good. So yeah.
Ah, so you don't like to judge people?
Well, it depends. It depends. But usually I try to be like, kind of, I try to like people.
Interesting. And did what Jack said sound similar?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, because he said he doesn't want to be in bad terms with people. He doesn't like disliking people.
Right. Okay. So do you see other INFPs?
Hmm?
Do you see other INFPs as judgmental?
Everyone has a point where they are like really harsh about their values, And yeah, I do have some INFP friends, and I've seen one being really judgmental over an argument, and I was like, dude, just chill. It's just an argument on the internet. And he was really fired up, and I was like, that's just FI, I guess. Cannot be helped. The stuff that triggers us, it just makes us go on and nag. So can't be helped. So yeah, we do come off as judgmental for certain things.
Do you think INFPs and ISFPs are over-personalized? Oh my god! I've just noticed a typo. I've put over-personalizes. Oh no!
Oh, you forgot the R. Yar yar. Yar yar.
Oh no!
Oh, you silly.
Right. So, do you think has anyone said that you've over-personalized anything?
Yeah. There were a few times at work when I got yelled at, but I was like, "There's an INFJ gay dude at work, and he's like really nice. I like him. We get along well." And he was like, don't make it too personal, because like you got yelled because they got stressed and they just couldn't really handle it. So don't worry, they just tell everyone. So sometimes whenever someone's pissed off, I start thinking maybe they're pissed off because of me. You know, how sometimes some people burst out on you because of a reason they were hiding for a long time. You know.
Right. Yeah, I'd take that personally as well. Someone yells at me. Do you think that all the INFPs that you've come across and ISFPs, do you think they're more self-righteous than you?
The healthy ones, we're about equal, but the ones that are a bit skewered or still young, as I said, that they're well self-righteous. It's just ridiculous.
What sort of things do they say that you consider self-righteous?
Just a second. Something like, let's say typology. They're like, oh my god, I hate FE so much. Like, FE is so not legit. Everyone's fake. And ENTPs are bad. Like, they overgeneralize and they just say bad stuff about people. And it's like, no, not entirely everyone is bad. Like, seriously. You can't really judge someone by 5 people out of the whole population. Or something like, whomever doesn't believe in my own morals are, gaylords or something. And I'm like, your morals aren't legit, you know that. Your morals aren't the shit in the world. It's kind of like a lot of stuff going on, and it's like, you're ridiculous, straight up.
Do you think other INFPs are oversensitive compared to you?
I would say we're equal with sensitivity. I just have some parts that already have a thick skin, and I just don't take shit about that.
Okay.
Well, how to say it? If somebody criticized me for the stuff I don't really care, I'd be like, yeah, whatever. Just go on with your perspective. Go on with your personal opinion. I don't care. But yeah, I guess that goes for a lot of INFPs. So.
Now, how much of a subjective emo are you compared to other INFPs, or are they more emo than you?
I wish I knew all the population though, because I don't. So I guess we all have our ups and downs, and in a way, I think, as I said before, there are points where I guess we're equally subjective emos. I just have my own moments and I don't get out of my room. I just sit and eat my ice cream and just not show myself to people when I have those moments. So they get a lot less publicity than in younger. And INFPs are just drama queens.
For the next one, I'll have to go into describing empathy because it's related to projection.
Okay.
Empathy is related to identification or bonds with another person, and that's because they see a similarity with somebody,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just like somebody with a role model,
Mm-hmm.
where they identify with that person, and because they identify with them, they feel a connection. And so then you get that vicarious thing where you imaginatively, you have a vicarious connection with someone where you put yourself in their shoes because their shoes seem to be the same size as your shoes because of the identification. Or rather, their shoes seem to be the size of your feet because there's that connection fits. But that does require projection in order to, putting yourself in somebody else's shoes is obviously projection.
Mm-hmm.
But that's good to try to put yourself into somebody else's shoes, but it can be said that you're putting yourself into somebody else's shoes rather than actually thinking about what that other person is thinking. But I would think that projection is necessary in order to feel empathy. And how well do you think you get on with empathy?
I think I'm better more with sympathizing, actually. Like, empathy requires for me to actually have experienced the things, and it's really, really hard to empathize if I haven't done that. Because it's like, I have no idea how to feel. Well, there are times when I can imagine, and I kind of can tell what kind of things is the person going through, but like 60% of time I can't. It's just out of my capabilities, out of my grasp.
Right. Do you think that... I'll just say that empathy is good for the arts.
Mm-hmm.
Good for the arts, good for acting, good for writing, especially writing characters. Do you think, thinking about just thinking of all the FP types, do you think that they are self-centered?
In a way, yeah.
Okay.
Because
yeah, go on.
Yeah, because they filter everything through the kind of personal me filter. It's everything that they do. It's like, first thing is it's for them, and second is for either for other people or just for profit or kind of other stuff.
Right, are you less like that than them, or about the same?
I switch in times because, as I said, I do tend to take account for logic, but it's not my preference. And there are times when I take other people's needs more seriously than my own. I just don't know. Seriously, this is like one of the things I can't really answer.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, go on.
I just thought, let's say if the person is doing well, usually I am my own preference. But if I see that the person is under stress or they're having issues, I'm like, okay, what can I do to make them less issue of how can I help them to handle the issues, or how can I handle them and make them less stressed? That would be the answer.
Okay. Do you think they're closed-minded have made a judgment?
Huh?
INFPs, do you think they can be closed-minded after they've made one of their moral judgments?
I think INFPs are actually one of the most flexible people to actually, and one of the most likely to change their minds somehow. That's what I think. I might not be right.
Okay. So even when it's one of their like principal values, they'll be willing to change their values, be flexible with their values, or are they going to stick to their values?
I don't know. It probably depends on the subtype or type of INFP, because I am more prone to be flexible with my values if I see if that the person has a point, and if the person is being right, or if it's inappropriate for the situation to be sticking to my values at some point.
Right. That might be because if you are an INFP, I reckon you're like an NE subtype. So you're like an INFP that's a little bit like an ENFP.
Yeah, could be maybe.
Because you do seem to be giving off a lot of NE, and I do that myself. I
just kind of like to go with the flow sometimes.
I think they call it that temperament flexible active. I think that extra, that EP temperament. Right. So what do we have there? We have oh yeah, I said it suppresses logic. E.g., hard for FI ego types to understand Peter Schiff. So he uses a lot of TI.
Well, overall, I find TI to be quite hard to understand. It's just like it's a function on its own. It doesn't need jack shit to exist. It just can produce stuff, and it's like, that's amazing. Like, I do believe it could literally live on its own.
You give some specifics about this?
Huh?
Could you elaborate a bit more, please, on this subject of?
Because I take it TI is more like a way of logic where you just build your own frameworks and just put stuff in there and see if it does fit. And if it doesn't fit, you just like chuck it away. So kind of in a way, it's like it doesn't need much support, I take it. Well, support does make it easier, but as in TI can live on its own, TI can generate their own things about things. Yeah. Vast vocabulary. Really.
Do you think it's do you think that it's are you distrustful about TI?
Not really. It's just I don't distrust it, I just don't understand it.
Okay. If we do have a quick look at it's a little bit of a digression, but you know, that's what people get with me. They will get digressions. But we're going to have a quick look at Viktor's functions. It should be there. It is. There it is. We'll have a quick look at two definitions of TI, and that top one there. The one that says logic of uniform structure. Does that fit you?
Security structure according to work. Linear either or way of thinking that the logical information such change themselves. I don't know. It's hard. Like, logic is not my forte.
Okay. And this one, TI minus. This is how I think.
Yeah, probably I can relate to this one a bit more.
Right. Interesting.
Than the ISTP one. The ISTP one is like a bit less relatable. How to say? Allows describing the same object in multiple ways, yes. See order and chaos, yes. Contradictions and paradoxes, yes. Alternatives, yes. And I don't know. Yeah, can't take to these points though.
Right. In future, we can go through whether you are an INTP or not.
Probably not. Quite likely.
Or ISFP, maybe. It depends.
No, I'm not that sensory. Like, if I had SE, that would probably be like somewhere either point of least resistance or somewhere in the back of my head completely.
Oh yeah, and I've just forgotten something that ISFP is NE polar, and you giving off a load of NE, so that would be. So I don't think you can be ISFP.
Yeah.
Based on.
So since I just have a question: do I give off FI or I don't?
You give off a lot of NE.
So there's no second function visible yet, or is it not determined or something?
No, I mean for me it's like somebody wrote on a comment on someone left a comment on our first video together. They said definite NE lead.
What's the support then? I need support. Come on, I can't play alone.
Well,
give me that.
Well, like I said, when Jeff is around, he can help because he likes ENFPs, and so he can help to work out if you're an ENFP or not. And I'll just click on your box to see Mr. Teddy. Does your boyfriend there have a name?
I guess I call him Tony.
Tony, okay.
Yeah, as in Tony Stark.
Tony Stark?
Yeah, I love Iron Man.
Oh, right. I used to when I got the Transformers comic in the 80s, I would read the Iron Man comic at the back, the Transformers comic. Right. People don't need to know that. Right. Suppresses logic. Oh, yes. So, how much is gut feeling? I mean, important to you?
I do have a lot of hunches, and sometimes stuff clicks in my head, and I'm like, that's right. And 3 seconds later, it happens, and I'm like, I told you that. Like, and that was a really uncanny feeling when I was asking my ENTP housemate, what is she going to study in university? And after I asked, there was a word in my head, engineering, and she said engineering just like a second away, and I was like, what?
Wow. There's not that many women that do engineering. I mean, and by contrast, when I did my biology degree, 2/3 of the class was female.
Wow, okay, that's quite a lot.
Yeah, lots of women in biology.
I have a friend who's studying biochemistry, so she's working with animal cells in a lab for free for a company who make a lot of dough. Because she's doing an internship, and I'm like, dude, you're gonna be broke, because she works 45 hours a week, no, 40 hours a week for free, and then she needs to work on top of that so she could pay for her bills. So but she
gets to have that though on her CV when she goes for jobs. Hey, I worked here, I did this. got letters of recommendation, so that looks great. And also, what it proves to an employer is that somebody is prepared to do all that work for free just to improve their skills, and it shows something to the employer about the character of that type of person.
Yep.
Right. So, and these days, people have to be extra careful about who they hire because they know they could have lawsuits when it comes to sacking people. Yep. So people are going to be overly cautious when it comes to the hiring phase. Right. What else have we got? We got. Do other people say that you're oversensitive? Oh, not sensitive. Oh, we sort of mentioned that before. Yeah.
Yeah, they do say that to me.
What sort of things?
It's like, oh, don't take it so seriously. He didn't mean to. Or no, you'll get over it. It's just like, seriously, he wasn't worth of you. Because like, I just had a situation where a dude just ditched me. And it's like, it just happened recently. And I was like, yeah, and I believed in you. And the friend of mine was like, just, it's not worth it. Just don't do it. Like, seriously, you'll get over him. You deserve a better one. So yeah, it's kind of like sometimes I think that I'm weaker than I am. Some people say that I take things a bit too strongly and too seriously, some of the stuff. As well as it's really, really easy for me to get stressed when someone is distressed around me. I just pick up that stress really easily.
Right. And then we discussed about determines appropriateness because determines the status of each relationship. And I think you said before that you have a problem with determining the status of a relationship.
Yes, it is really hard.
And is that the biggest problem that you have?
Second biggest problem is that probably distinguishing my own feelings, as I said before. It's like sometimes I can go around in circles and be like, I don't know what I'm feeling at the moment, but I feel really funny. And it just takes a lot of circle jerking, a lot of thinking just to like determine what is that. And then
go on.
In 2 days, I'm like, yeah, I felt depressed that day. And it's like, snap.
What I might do is I could retitle this video, FI Dom or FI Polar. You decide.
They'd be like, a retard. Haha.
Well, that's FI Polar in itself, using that word.
I know. Might be my ability to pick up on what people say. Because, as I said, I used to date an ENTP. And he used to throw around the word autistic quite a lot in appropriate moments. And I just picked up that word and I used to use it in inappropriate moments as well.
Okay.
Until a very... Yeah?
Go on.
And until a very, very moral ENTP pointed out that I'm using the word in a really demeaning, kind of really shitty way. And he was like, well, I have an autistic friend, and that's really mean from his perspective. And I was like, snap, that is actually really wrong. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. So after that, I just got really conscious and I stopped using the word.
Very good. Because I myself have an autistic sister. So there we go. Right, so we have finished this section on FI.
Yay!
We are done for this hangout and we'll be back in another one probably. So
see you guys.
Bye bye folks.